XLevVinken against Cihan. You said it perfectly, Richard. 5th in the global series rankings for LevVinken, an Ajax fan at heart. You might just be able to see it there, wearing some Ajax jogging bottoms for LevVinken. He's up against RBL Leipzig's Cihan, though, if you remember him well. Played for Schalke before, obviously, RBL Leipzig. Remember that final back in Paris against TAS?
I do, yeah. TAS beat him there to become probably the first ever in the FUT Champions era Shield winner. He was the February winner, the European winner in 2017. Before this game does get underway, I just want to have a little look at the two players stood behind or sat behind each of these two, LevVinken and Cihan. On Cihan's side, FIFA Houston, M10 Houston. On Lev's side, it's Tom Stokes. You would have predicted those two to be behind him.
You see the Tom Stokes thing, that comes down, obviously, it's a team bundle, both those players under that roster there. That's why they're supporting each other along the journey. Spoke to Tom, actually, back in the hotel just 2 days ago, and I said, you must be gutted not to be at this tournament. As this ball comes in now, he was like, yeah, this is the one tournament that I would have loved to be involved in. And that's why a lot of players have come here. You've seen people coaching, you know, players throughout the tournament. We saw Ryan coaching Tom, we saw Lyrics coaching Nightwatch. You know, the list goes on of people here because they wanted to feel that experience in some kind of capacity. We've seen so many upsets, if you would even call them that. Yes, everyone is here for a reason. Everybody out the 64 has got a lot of quality. You can see it on the Global Series rankings as well. That kind of reflects back on a lot of people's seasons. But the 4 players, the big 4, that went 4-0, you would expect them to be at the Champions League final. They're not.
All out. Dasari, Tex, Nicholas and Maestro all eliminated from the competition.
But I have to back up that point you said. He's 5th in the Global Series rankings, Lev. You would probably put him in that top 8 of what we've seen so far when he plays in England as well. He's been loving playing at Gfinity. He seems to always make the last 4 there, the console finals, or at least the semi-finals onwards. And as we said, a huge Ajax fan as well, been travelling all across Europe. Went to the recent game against Juventus as well.
He's only dropped 1 game here in Manchester. Let's point that out as well. It was his 3rd round Swiss game against New York City Chris, the man who just booked his place in Madrid.
And on
lost that game 5-4.
And on top of all of that, here's a chance now. Could go 1-0 up. Save. That's going to go for a corner.
بتهزر صح؟ يا ابني مش طاش من بعيد علي يا ابني بطلوا بقى.
But just, you know, picking back up the point, round of 32, Lev actually had to play a fellow Ajax esports competitor in Tour, obviously the Brazilian there. Lev once was an Ajax esporter himself, but moved on since that. Still obviously a fan of the club and a lot of respect for the club as well. But it's all about getting to the eChampions League final now.
Yeah, represented by Bundle, but technically a free agent is LevVinken.
Here comes the corner now. Straight into the hands of David De Gea.
You saw that pause that he did make as well. Hullet in at left back. That was a change that he has made. Modric in at CDM for Lev. Clearly, no Cihan likes to go to that back post.
Why do you think he makes that 10 minutes into the game? Because he wasn't waiting for the pause for 10 minutes. He paused it when it was the right time, of course. We'll talk about after this attack does fizzle out. It is Hullet in possession now, as you mentioned, in at left back. Mbappe now on this left-hand side. A few roulettes to try and get around his man. Step-overs, I should say.
It's clearly identified that Ronaldo's a threat at right cam. And the only player that he finds viable to sort of extinguish that threat is Ruud Hullet, the prime icon moment in at left back. He's tall, he's strong, he can win the ball in the air, he's good defensively. However, you're missing such a threat going forward. Yes, you bring Modric into centre of defensive midfield, but Hullet is a different animal. He's a different beast in midfield.
He's a different height as well. You know, it's great Modric having all these stats, but it was something that a lot of pros said, hence why Modric isn't always a starter for a few players, is you can't change the body shape, you can't change the height of Modric. You can have all these stats, but Hullet, Vieira, they're still going to be taller than him. They're still going to be probably better suited in that CDM role. And that's why a lot of them have just been, you know, statements or staples in every single team that we've seen this year. Well, to be honest, in the last 2 years. It's going to be LevVinken to come forward again. See Ramos in at right back. We're used to seeing that one. I've seen a few left back variations though this weekend. We saw Bale for a few players, not many. Hullet in this occasion. Marcelo, a lot of people like to stick with that. And then obviously we've seen the 4 across the back, the 2 centre-halves in the middle, 2 centre-halves at left and right back as well.
Do have 6 of the 8 players already booked their places to Madrid. 3 North Americans. Alan Avi, New York City Chris, and Joksan all already there.
Here comes XLevVinken now. Could he score the first goal? Yes, he has. He's onside as well. 30 minutes on the clock. A routine finish. Didn't even need to time it green. And it will be Neymar that runs away to celebrate.
Lev is adamant that Ajax are winning the Champions League, and he wants to be there. He is adamant that he will be there to watch his beloved side lift the Champions League trophy in Madrid, while he's lifting the eChampions League trophy the day before.
That would be an incredible story if Ajax can continue this fairy tale they seem to be having in the Champions League this year, knocking out all the big clubs, all the big giants that standing in their way. Now he currently leads in this knockout matchup. Round of 16. Had 6 competitors already put their plane tickets through, and as you said, 3 North Americans, 1 South American in there, and 2 European players. The vitality battle actually saw Rafsu come out on top. Coming into it, you probably wouldn't expect that. You'd be thinking Maestro would be in that. And again, another surprise.
Seems like all the underdogs in those round of 16 matches have been going through. Nightwatch against Tex. Being one of those players.
Back to goal now. Neymar, the goal scorer of the first, will be the goal scorer of the second. It's like he's working towards a time green finish as well. The first one was just blank. That one was a bit yellow. And I'm sure the next one will be green. And it could be sending 3-0 up as well. He's 2-0 up currently and oozing with confidence in this first leg.
Low driven from Neymar, driving XLevVinken into a 2-goal lead. He's one of the best and most consistent, that's the word that I'm looking for, PS4 players this year. Console finals, console semi-finals. Making top 8 for him is a regular occurrence. This is nothing bigger for him. He's just come to a tournament and he's looking to get top 8.
He's looking for a third as well on top of all of that within the first half of this game. Falls back to Ronaldo as well. That's a mistake. As always, there is another round of 16 game that does happen just to the side of this, and wow, speak about magical stories happening in any cup competition. How about a European Cup competition? Kozu, first event of the year as well. It seems to be the tournament of surprises. 1-0 up over Marcuso. Half-time in the first leg there.
Plenty of FIFA left to be played in that game. If you are a Denmark, if you are a North or Copenhagen fan, Marcuso's got a lot of time to get back into that. But in the game that we are watching, it's all XLevVinken in this first half. You see Stokes in there, giving him his words of wisdom on the game, his
and you saw
sort
there,
of point of view of it.
Didn't really need to say much because it's all perfect. It's probably one of his strongest first 45 minutes he's played across any match,
yeah,
across Swiss, across anything. He did lose, as you said, 1 game in Swiss. That was to New York City Chris, who has just booked his ticket for the eChampions League final. Other than that, it was plain sailing and easy for him in Swiss. 4-1. 4 wins to 1 defeat, that is. Well, Cihan did lose 2 games.
Cihan just doesn't look switched on right now. He's gave the ball away 2 or 3 times.
He's about to give it away again.
It feels as though he's come out very, very cold in this round of 16 match.
I have to agree with you there. Doesn't seem like he's been at the races for this first 50 minutes or so. Here's his chance, though. Mbappe. Just wide. Looking for that finesse, I thought, originally, but went for the near post. Not going to be trouble in David De Gea. Wearing an interesting number 7 on the back of his top, but that won't matter.
Yeah, very close there. I'm surprised he went for the near post, but as soon as that finesse got sort of blocked off, you'd say, by Lev, Seems like that was the best viable option for him. Good, strong defending at the back there from Cihan. Seems like he's starting to tighten up a few of the screws in this second half.
To be honest, Richard, this could even be the break between this game and the round of 32. We saw, look at, you don't expect that from Maestro, what we just saw. I think at one point he was 4-0 down in his game. Scoop back across, that's not even going to fall to Neymar, unfortunately for him. Some players, as you always say, play their final before the actual last game of the day or the last game of the competition, which does sound like a weird thing, but it does honestly happen. For example, Marcuso against Nicholas, that might be his final. Yes, he's still got a long time left to play. Scoop into the box, could it be 3-0, headed away by Marcelo?
Yeah, players do sometimes peak too early. It's as simple as that. Mbappe here, going away from goal. It's almost like if you're an athletics runner or you're doing the long jump and you've hit your best run or your quickest time or your longest jump in the heats, that doesn't count for anything. In the long run, you might go 5-0 in Swiss, but if you're not doing it in the bracket, no one's remembering you.
What a huge chance that was for Cihan there. Tried to play it back across. It was just kind of just edged away with the left leg of Ruud Gullit. Corner will come in that game. Speaking of games, the other match, Marcuso has equalised. 57th minute there. Wouldn't surprise if there's about 4 La Croquetas before it, but he has equalised. The man from Team North, 1-1. He's back all square now in that game. That's in its first leg. A Nordic clash as well. Finland against Denmark. The E-Superliga winner for FC Copenhagen and Team North is in. And he's just scored again. Literally as I'm speaking about him, he's just scored again. 6 minutes after, he is now 2-1 up. So if you are a fan of Team North, you're a fan of the Danish scene, don't worry. He's just about in front.
I'm sure George Hughes will be out there listening. He's eager to know Marcuso's results. 2-1. The Danish superstar is leading right now.
Here comes Lev again. First real attack in this second half. As we said, dominated the first half. Looks so calm. Scored 2 goals as well for his efforts. Ronaldo. Back to Neymar. Croqueta or 2. Trying to get away from his man. Snap at the shot. It was Time Green. I said he's working towards a Time Green finish, but that one straight into the hands of Van der Sar.
Yeah, pretty central for Van der Sar. It had the power on it. There was no real placement in that shot. Sometimes that's what you get when you time it green. Sometimes, even though you time it green, it'll still go over the bar. It'll still just not trouble the goalkeeper as such. You're not going to get 100% success rate on any shot you do in FIFA.
Great feet from Neymar just a few seconds ago from Cihan, but it's just really nothing's happening for him. Needs a massively better second leg. Or an improvement, at least.
This seems all very academic right now.
It really is. You think this is a Swiss game?
For Lev.
And you think both these players are 3-0 in Swiss. Happy to lose a game.
I didn't even go further than that. I'd say like 4-0. And yeah, they're already through, and we're playing for placement. We're playing for placing right now.
The only person that has seemed up for it is Lev. I doubt they've forgotten this is the round of 16 game, which will take you to the eChampions League final. Maybe they're not letting the occasion get the better of them.
It is a 2-legged game, and we're not counting Cihan out yet, but he seems very slow, quite lackadaisical in the final third. Nothing played with any sort of vigour or tempo to his play right now, and it's really playing into the hands of XLevVinken. 3 shots, 3 on target, 2 goals for Lev.
See the shot accuracy there as well. We don't need to explain it. The 3 chances he's had, and only one of them has been on target. Nice clinical players. Even if they create a few chances, they'll always make them on target, the shots, or at least make the keeper work for it. Eusebio into the box. Headed by Ronaldo.
There you go.
Maybe headed into life for Cihan. 71 minutes. It had to come from a set piece. He needed something to bring him into the game, and that is the chance he was holding out for.
Hit Ronaldo at the back stick and see the results. He's what? 12, 13, 14 yards out.
To be honest there, I'm saying play it back in. We've seen players do that. We've seen players play back into the centre spot or centre spots into the penalty area and then score from there. You don't normally see that.
Power header from Ronaldo. Got over it. Got your head down. And that's what he can do. CR7.
Let's not forget as well, Who's behind Cihan? FIFA Houston. He's just sat behind him. Ronaldo. This is Vinken. Can't get round Ramos though. Just push it back to Van der Sar. From what Cihan's created, if I was him, I'd be over the moon to get out of this game at only 2-1. One set piece is he's really, if he gets 2-2 as well,
it's a smash and grab.
I'm sure Lev will be thinking, how have I got here?
Lev will be thinking, I've let him off the hook big time, because you're not going to get a bad performance from a FIFA Pro 2 games in a row. It's as simple as that. There's a reason that you see Desari turning games around 6-0, 7-0 in the second leg. Or in Texas' case this weekend, in the first leg, 3-4-0, and then he relaxes the second game. On both of these two players, unless the nerves get the better of him, you're not going to see 2 bad performances in a row.
Another chance for Lev now. Pele, he's pretty fresh as well. That prime icon moment recently introduced, you know, incredible super sub for so many players as well. Added time at 2 minutes. If Lev can get himself an extra goal here, it'll be certainly worthwhile. If anything, it's going to go out for a corner for Lev. Can he repeat that same goal into Ronaldo? Time green into the hands of David De Gea. To say David De Gea, into the hands of Van der Sar. So used to saying David De Gea. This game's concluded, Richard. What's happening over in the other game?
Yeah, I was just about to say, we've had an update before that cross came in. It came to nothing in the end. It was a header from xLevVinken that the goalkeeper saved. However, in the other game, it was a header that hit the back of the net from Kosu. 2-2. 89th minute equaliser from Kosu. We're going to be going into that second leg. 2 apiece between these two sides. Once again, Jimmy Conrad, the perfect match day reporter.
He's been throwing all the results to us throughout that game. Of what we can see in the distance, what love as well, Kosu, no coach. I'm pretty sure he came here on his own from Finland. I think on the ground, all around the global series, there has been a number of shocks, as we said, a number of surprises. But, you cannot take it away from those 6 names that will be definitely going to Madrid. We have to find 2 more, though. We're going to stick with this game, Cihan against xLevVinken. Only 2-1 xLevVinken leads in an incredible first 45 minutes. And we're back underway for the second leg. We will give you updates from Marcuso against Kosu. Finland against Denmark. We'll keep you updated in that game. That is 2-2 from the first leg. Here we go.
Cihan getting us underway. Same kits as last time, so nothing to get confused about.
I'm sure Houston would have spoke to him. Bring yourself alive in this game. Oh, that could be the chance for him. Is he just
offside?
Offside there, the original run. I'm sure Houston would have just said to him, I think they've both got a bit of turkey in there. I'm trying to find the word for it. They've both got a bit of Turkish in them. That's what I'm going to say. That's why
heritage.
That's the word I'm looking for, Rich. So I got there in the end. With Cihan and Houston, that is why they have been, coaching each other so far. That is why Houston's come here. He's coming all the way from Denmark.
To be fair, I do like a bit of Turkey.
Well, whatever the word we were looking for, I'm sure the viewers at home will understand. But they're both, that's why they're here coaching each other. They're both very good friends in the scene as well. They've been speaking Turkish to each other as well in between the matches, from what I've seen and what I've heard of them, especially from Houston. Here's a chance now for xLevVinken. Can he go 3-1 up? Great save from Van der Sar.
The change made early doors yet again from xLevVinken. Pull it into left back. Vieira off and Modric into CDM to accompany Mr. Patrick Vieira.
Well, it was 2 goals in the first 45 minutes of the first game, which gave xLevVinken his lead, as you can see now. Can he get a third? And there we go. Who is it that scores it? Patrick Vieira, the man of the moment.
Bursting forward from CDM. You see him running off the ball. Peeled off Ruud Gullit in that defensive position. Slots it past the goalkeeper from close range inside the box. And the prime icon moment, 92, Patrick Vieira. Doing a job for xLevVinken.
It just puts the pressure on Cihan as well. Needs a big performance. More than ever now. He's 2 goals behind again. Marcelo on this left-hand side. You can see the numbers back as well. Look at the amount of red shirts back defending for xLevVinken. Everybody's behind the ball.
I'm big for that kit as well that Lev's using, that nice little red and black number.
It's from the Saudi Arabian League, actually. I recognise that badge from the Saudi Premier League. Back to goal for Ronaldo with the shot as well. Deflection over the bar. In comes another corner for Lev. And another wave of pressure for Cihan to deal with. Mbappe wanted to get the shot away. Ronaldo is back to defend and happy to defend.
I've just been told as well, Marcuso leading 3-2 in that game into the second leg.
In front of us as well, that match. 20 minutes in. Marcuso. He beat Nicholas, who he actually faced at the semi-final stages of the FIFA World Cup last year.
I seem to remember him playing him multiple times. In Manchester, I think he played him in the playoffs. He also played him, did Marcuso. And he regularly beat him in Swiss style, and then he backed it up. 2 knockout games, FIFA 18
المفروض سيان ده ألماني من أصل تركي صح؟
On 2 separate occasions, which sort of a league of its own right now.
لا ما يجي في الجون كمان كده انت يبقى جي جي.
Oh no!
شكلها جي جي.
For a hat-trick. Patrick Vieira, take a bow. Prime icon moment in that CDM role. You normally don't see him get involved in any attacks, and now he's just put him 4-1 up on aggregate. He's on for a hat-trick.
You saw Cihan's reaction when that goal went in. It was just sort of a roll of the eyes, a shake of the head. What can I do to defend that? He's cricketed inside the box. He's opened up the space. And once again, Patrick Vieira getting on from CDM. Just tapping it in at the back post. Right place, right time. For the iconic Frenchman.
Well, we've seen him score big goals in a number of competitive FIFA tournaments.
The stop on the ball is a very underutilized sort of skill element in the game. There's no skill move inputted there. It's just a fake shot and you just stand on the ball. You don't move any direction. If your opponent can run past you, it enables you to just bring so many more players into the game at such a quick sort of turnaround. LevVinken using it perfectly there to his ability. 4-1 now, 23 minutes on the clock.
Unfortunately for Cihan, LevVinken has just been so good in the attacking third. It's been that good that his CDMs have been able to just bomb on and even pop him with a goal or two.
He's well and truly been blown away in the first 25 minutes here.
And let's remember, this is with Hullet at left back as well. Hullet hasn't even been involved in half of these attacks. He's been back defending for Lev. He's looking for another one. Could it be goal number 5? What a save!
He nearly actually reacted that at the back post. 5-1 in that second leg, gave him a 7-2 victory on aggregate and sends the Dutchman into the ECL finals.
Incredible stuff indeed from the Dutchman, as we said. A huge Ajax fan in Madrid.
Marcuso is in Madrid. What a performance.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
From
the انت لابس اسود.
7-2 LevVinken. Signed, sealed and delivered. He will be your final player on the plane to the Champions League.
Unfortunately for Lev, he just...
Penalty. It's offside, actually.
I was going to say that would be unfortunate for Cihan, who just hasn't been at it in this round of 16 game. Lev, on the other hand, has been superb. 7 goals to 2. He'll be the 8th player to book his name in the eChampions League final. Then all our attentions will turn to Madrid. We'll turn to that huge final. $100,000 for the winner. Why not score another one? Messi, watch out on the back post. Cricketer inside, or 2 or 3. He's having fun now. It's party time for the Dutchman. He's in Madrid. Congratulations, LevVinken.
Game, set and match. LevVinken does it. LevVinken seals the 8th player. The final piece of the puzzle for the eChampions League is resolved.
I've been waiting to see this all weekend, Richard, to see
run them down.
Those boards at the line. There's your 8 players. Marcuso, Rafsu, Joksan. And of course, as we said, I could see it in